Hey, what's up, y'all? You know what it is. It's basketball time. This is Run It Back, and I'm Suli McCullough. If you love basketball, I love basketball, and if you love basketball, this is the perfect show for you, because we are going to talk all things basketball. The real, like we love the game. We're going to get into like who the best teams are, who the best players are, what players are rocking, what players shouldn't fight each other. We're going to get into all of it. Like, the basketball world is ever changing, and that's why you need somebody like me to take you through it. But I don't want to just do that myself. Just talking to myself, that, while I'm right, it's not good. I need a co-host. And so what I did was I said, you know what? I got to find the perfect co-host for Run It Back. I'm going to just let people open audition. You know, just send in reasons why they think they should be the co-host. And then we'll just figure it out. I'll choose the best one, and we'll do the best basketball show. So that's what I did. Here's some of the people that submitted.
This is my audition tape for Run It Back.
I'm Olden Polynice, and I believe I should be the new co-host of Run It Back.
Hey, I'm Nick Cho, your Korean dad, from Tik Tok. I heard you needed a new co-host for Run It Back. Here I am.
Hi, my name is Andre Kelly, and as you can clearly see, I am unfuckable.
Linder Koda from Angel Diva, here to audition for Run It Cat.
Suli, when I was in high school, I had a vertical leap of about 30 inches.
I'm a legit 7-footer. I played 15 seasons in the NBA for the Sonics, the Jazz, the Kings, the Pistons, and the Clippers. That's a lot of teams.
I've got all kinds of sneakers. Hello? I'd like to talk to Adam Silver, please. Tell him it's his Korean dad and that we need to talk about these bad uniform colors.
Chicks totally dig me. I am the perfect host for Run It Back.
I am your cat representative.
I've been looking for a place to talk about the most intense basketball topics there are. But what if LeBron wanted to have tacos on a different day of the week?
I am the face of the R. Kelly Woody Allen daycare centers.
Why? Because every night I went up against Shaq and Alonzo, Patrick, and David Dikembe Mutombo. Last but not least is my man Akeem. Your worst nightmare, but OP's the real dream. That's why.
I've got on my vintage 2014 Air Jordan random something.
You know what I mean?
Oh!
But you'd also be getting all this. All this. Pow, 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 pow. Call me.
I was an English major in college, so you'll be able to understand what I'm saying.
I'm playing cat ball. I'm rapping cat ball. I'm playing cat ball because I'm your cat representative.
If dunking on the Lord is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Let's run it back.
Oh. Pick me.
Oh yeah.
So when do I start?
Cat lives matter.
Oh my God.
Now listen, Suli, I was certain, because I saw the audition tapes, I was certain that Jan was going to be sitting in this chair.
Well, you know what? When she found out that I'm not a cat, she was out.
She was out. I see. I was your second choice. Yeah. And Olden also. I was like, how am I going to go up against him?
Olden is overqualified, and that mirrors exactly what happens with black coaches in the NBA.
Exactly. You end up getting a mediocre white guy. Here I am.
Yes. Well, you are not mediocre, and I do need to give you a proper introduction. Everybody, my new co-host of Run It Back, Mr. Dan Ratner. We are going to talk all things basketball. As you can see, he's got hops. So, yeah, we're going to get into the lifestyle, This isn't just a show that's like, give me your list of the top 5 greatest power forwards over 275 pounds. This is a show that really gets into it. So I'm glad to have you as my co-host.
I am honored to be here, and after seeing the competition, I know even more that it means a lot. Now let's move right into the lifestyle. You are wearing a jersey.
Yes.
It's a UCLA jersey.
Yes. Every episode, I will be rocking a jersey out of my personal collection. I've been collecting NBA jerseys forever. And today I went with the UCLA Bruins number 5 black alternative Reebok jersey. Number 5, as you may or may not know, was Baron Davis at UCLA. I went to UCLA. I am a Bruin. Go Bruins. UCLA, they won their play-in game in the tournament, so I am proudly repping UCLA. When these jerseys first came out, people hated them. They hated them because it is not the traditional UCLA color scheme. Baron Davis was incredible at UCLA. I said, I have to have this jersey. And this was a jersey that I luckily have in my collection, so I am proudly rocking the Baron Davis black alternate UCLA Bruins jersey.
That's pretty awesome. I would have loved to see Kareem in that.
Yes,
that would have been incredible. Now, listen, what I'm wearing, I don't know if you can see it. I'll stand up a little bit.
Yes, please. You got to show it off. This is our modeling segment.
Yeah, I got my Louisville shirt on because they did not make the tournament this year, and every year they're one of the teams that I'm like, oh man, Louisville's going to go deep. And I had this thing recently where I was like, there's no way that Rick Pitino is going to lose. It took me 2 years to realize he was gone.
Yes.
I kept picking Louisville.
He's no longer.
He's not even there. I should have been picking Iona. But I'm wearing it, in honor of the fallen.
Yes. I like that. It's like, don't forget about your brothers that aren't in battle right now. I like that.
Exactly.
I like that.
So let's get to the NBA. We've got our segment, NBA Prime Cuts.
Yes, NBA Prime Cuts. That's where we break down all the biggest stories that are going on in the NBA. This is where we really cut the fat, so to speak. We give you the Prime Cuts. First of all, I'm sorry to have to report this or talk about this, but we just want to send a little love to Shawn Bradley, NBA veteran who was involved in a bicycling accident that left him paralyzed. So we just want to send some healing vibes and some love to Shawn Bradley. It's really unfortunate, but we definitely want to let him know the basketball community is sending him well wishes and healthy recovery.
Absolutely, and I think we felt that we really couldn't cover anything before mentioning that, because when we talk about basketball lifestyle, one of the things I love about the NBA is it's a league that, at least to me, feels like we care about each other. The fans care about the players care about the fans in a way that other leagues don't.
Right. And there is that shared sense of community. So we definitely wanted to start off by just sending him some strength.
Absolutely. And we wish him all the best. And I actually heal pain, and I know stories of people who have recovered from this. So who knows? Maybe there's hope.
Yeah.
So now
let's get into game stuff.
Let's do it.
First of all, we got to talk about the Greek Freak, okay? Because now that the East has this super team in Brooklyn, made up of superstars. If you're a superstar and you don't like the team that you used to play, just go to Brooklyn and magic things happen. But the Greek Freak is quietly doing his thing. He is making a stance. They played the Sixers for the first time this year. I don't know how, they've only played each other one time, but the Greek Freak stepped up. I got to give him his props.
It is. I don't know what happened with the NBA schedule that they thought that was normal to put the Bucks 76ers so late in the season. But
yes,
one thing that I like to think about as a fan, I'm from Cleveland, and it was different when LeBron was here. It was like
Right.
nothing we'd ever seen before. But
Right.
when you're in a small market, I feel like a lot of times players get missed. But a guy at the level of Antetokounmpo, I don't understand how he's not getting talked about more.
Well, I think it's like also a product of being, he's a 2-time MVP. You know what I mean? So he is the standard bearer of what the league is right now. But like I said, you've got these other strong teams in the East now. The East has really sort of picked up in its competitiveness. It's still anybody's race. And I think that he's asserting himself in a way that I haven't seen up until this season. So it'll be really interesting to see with the addition of PJ Tucker coming to that team, if that's enough to get them to that level where they're able to surprise people and come out of the East.
Listen, if he's going to get to that next level, we know it's a mental step. We saw it with Jordan. We see it with all the players.
Yes.
The next step. And so it's making me think about another guy. So
who's that?
Damian Lillard.
Right.
Like,
right.
This is a
Talk
guy.
about him.
Well,
Are
this
you
is a
telling
guy-
me it's Dame time?
It's Dame time.
It's Dame time and daylight savings time?
Exactly.
Okay,
Listen,
tell me let's talk about Dame.
He went off for 50 points.
Yes.
And he only took 20 shots to do it.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
What on earth is going on here? I mean, he's gone supernova.
Yes. Dame is on a whole nother level right now. And let's not forget, he is doing it without CJ McCollum. He's doing it without CJ. Okay? CJ has been out for a long time. The second consistent primary scorer has been my man, Carmelo Anthony. Okay? Which makes what Dame is doing all that more impressive. Like, they really haven't had the full complement of their team. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
That's a team that on paper is really strong and nobody wants to see in the early rounds of the playoffs. Let's not forget, this year's a play-in tournament where those lower seeds get to compete for those last spots. So, what Dame is doing is ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. And nobody's really talking about him for MVP, and you can make a nice case for him as the MVP. You know, like in the outside world.
Absolutely. And he just exemplifies this player that you see grow in confidence more and more and more. And we don't know what he's capable of.
Yes, watching that All-Star game, All-Star games are just for fun. The fact that he hit the dagger shot to end the game from just inside of half court is unbelievable.
Right. And that's like a layup for him now.
Yes. The way he gets his shots, like the threes, the dagger threes at the end of the games are great. But there's also this mechanism, like when he brings the ball up and screens his man on the outer wing and then just decides, I'm going straight to the cup. And yeah, there may be 3 help side defenders, but he's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to foul your big man and then go to the line. And it's incredible. It's incredible.
I love it. And I did want to say, like, this show, when we talked about the idea of it, I just wanted to crawl inside it because this is like my middle school dream to talk about these things.
Yes.
And we get to talk about anything. So now I'm thinking about Joel Embiid. He's another fantastic player, and we know there was that horrible scare where people were worried about, did he tear his ACL?
Yes.
I feel like if I were Joel Embiid, I'd be worried, like, just standing up.
Yes. Well, that's really the good and bad of Joel Embiid, isn't it? Like, up until this point, I hate to admit this, but this show is also about honesty. And I was not the biggest Joel Embiid fan. And I felt like he got so much praise for Joel, the personality. I didn't see enough on the court that the two made sense to me. You know what I mean? It's like, I want to see you be the man in the game, not the man on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, that's not why I would wear your jersey, not for your Twitter comments. I want to see you do it on the court.
Right.
And up until this year, I didn't see it in a consistent way. And I saw it this year, and I had to actually kind of take a step back and go, okay, Joel, you're doing your thing.
Yeah, finally.
I can't hate.
It's they say trust the process, but you can't.
Yes, yeah, and they say that in Philly, they really say that.
I know.
And if you don't trust the process, you might get beat up.
Yeah, or get batteries thrown at you.
Yes.
I lived in
Yes.
Philly for a whia But
Yes.
yeah, now
They
we're starting
booed
to see.
Destiny's Child. Destiny's Child had Beyonce in it. Okay.
They booed Beyonce. That tells you all you need to know.
Yes, they booed Beyonce. That's Philly.
Only Philly. All right, let's shift over to another East Coast team. We got the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes.
I want to know who's the MVP of that team, and can they win without defense, or are they starting to click on defense in any way?
Well, I mean, this team is they're wildly exceeding everyone's expectations. You know what I mean? Like at the beginning of the year, you didn't know exactly what this was going to be. You didn't know, would Durant be Durant? Kyrie was going through, his Kyrie-ness. But that guy is that team is mesmerizing. You know what I mean? Like they really are. It's like almost, like they said the old Bulls, the Michael Jordan 72-10 team, that was like rock star status. I literally feel like the Brooklyn Nets are even more rock star than that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they're Coachella East in a way. You know what I mean? Like there's so much, like it really is rock stars that can play basketball.
It is. And
you know what I mean? Like that's what it is.
And look, they might destroy some amps. And
yes, exactly. They are going to trash a hotel. There might be a motorcycle that flies, over a banister into a pool. Like, but it's rock and roll,
That's right. That's right. The question is, will rock and roll win out? I don't know.
Yes, exactly. At this point, we have no idea. We're just going to have to see how it plays out. But, to directly kind of answer your question, I don't think there is an MVP on that team. It's just it's just the collective superstars hanging out in a green room, and the green room happens to be the basketball court. You know what I mean?
That's right. The MVP is the green room.
It's the arena.
It is. It's the Barclays Center.
Yes. It's the lighting package.
All right. So now, I mean, the East really is wide open, though. We've got the Heat. They seem to be back on track.
Yes. So, I'm glad that you brought up the Heat, because that's a team, much like Giannis and the Bucks in the way, even though they're still in the mix. People forget they were in the NBA Finals in the bubble. You know what I mean? Like they were the surprise chemistry team. This is another team that's had, injuries, ailments, everything that could decimate the great things that they were taking into this season. So they're finally getting back on track. Jimmy Butler is being Jimmy Butler. He's being Jimmy Buckets. He's being that guy that you're like, I don't want him to set a pick on me.
No,
he's being that guy. And like I said, I really love that shooting tandem that they have. That's a team. I believe they just signed Trevor Ariza, if I'm not wrong, on that, who stretches that. He stretches the team. He's another dude, a big wing defender that can knock it down. So good things are happening in Miami.
Let me also say this. When I'm thinking about playoff time, one of the things I love to see is the teams that have experience.
Yes.
And I don't care what anybody says about the bubble.
Yes.
You could even say that people got better experience in the bubble, because that took a lot of mental acuity to be able to stay focused there. Yes. It was really impressive. It was really impressive to see the Lakers win there and what the Heat were able to do.
Well, it also, it spoke to LeBron's championship pedigree. You know what I mean? Like, and that leadership really does matter. And this is it's a mental game as much as it is a physical game. And that's something that was interesting to see in this contained, controlled environment. And that counts for a lot in the playoffs, like it's what makes the finals MVP.
Absolutely. So, and now we're also coming up against the trade deadline.
Yes, that's right. The trade deadline fast approaching. There's some movement that's going to happen. In fact, big news with my team, the Clippers. There is talk that they are interested in acquiring Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball to the Clippers.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's take a moment and process that.
I don't know if I can. I feel like one of my eyes is going to pop out of my head.
Right.
Do you think it's going to happen?
Who knows, man? I have no idea if it's going to go down. If it does, I'm not even sure quite how I feel about it yet. You know, I do think Lonzo Ball can run a team. But we spent a lot of time at the beginning of Prime Cuts talking about Dame Lillard. And if I got to have Dame Lillard on one side and Lonzo Ball on the other on my team, I'm not confident. I'm not confident.
Listen, that would be like setting up your house on like some Nerf structure. Like,
yes.
You're like, I don't know. I don't know about this.
With mice. With mice.
Yes.
With mice.
So there was
I do think it's, you can run a system, but you're also putting a lot more pressure on Paul George. Do you want to do that? And Kawhi Leonard to be your primary scorers and taking the pressure off Lonzo. I just think to be competitive and go deep in the playoffs, you need to have an electric point guard that is not afraid to take that big shot. That's just my thoughts.
No, I completely agree, but I also think chemistry is such a big part of things. So PJ Tucker was just traded to the Bucks.
He's
a guy, he's more of a role player at this point, but
he's going to help.
But he's going to help, and you don't have to worry about him fitting in with team chemistry the way you would with Lonzo Ball.
Right.
Now,
and here's another thing.
Yeah.
Does this trade include LeVar Ball? That is something
I think we know it
that
does.
We definitely have to consider. Does it include the dad?
Yes.
Because if it does,
listen, you have to include a first-round pick with LeVar Ball just to get him.
That's correct.
You don't. It has to be included with him.
Yes.
To take him.
Yes.
Now, how about Andre Drummond? Where should he go?
Well, that dude is a difference maker. Actually, truth be told, I would much rather to have him come to the Clippers.
Completely.
I think he is a difference maker. Wherever he goes, he's going to elevate the team and will make an instant impact. And he has a plethora of choices.
Absolutely.
How often do you use the word plethora when talking basketball?
Listen, usually it's when I'm quoting the Three Amigos.
Yes.
Hey, Jefe, do you have a plethora of piñatas? What is a plethora?
I like that.
That's where I learned the word.
Nice. Yes.
So,
well, that's the value of the Three Amigos right there.
All right, let's wrap up this segment talking about just how good are the Utah Jazz and who are the teams that actually have a legitimate shot at the title, and are they one of them? I hate to ask that question because it's so disrespectful in a way, but
the Utah Jazz have been disrespected the most. They're the most disrespected team of this NBA season. I think we can agree on that.
Yes.
You know what
absolutely.
I mean? Like, their two superstars were picked last in the All-Star game, and they were hot about that. Donovan Mitchell has had run-ins with Charles Barkley and advice from Shaq. So, these guys are the most sensitive NBA superstars that we have. They're actually the opposite of Stockton and Malone in that way, where they're Stockton and Malone, but in their feelings. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it's pick and roll and then cry about it slightly. Not even cry, weep. Slightly weep about it.
They're dishing out emotional assists everywhere.
Yes.
But maybe not. But listen, they're really good. I think
they're a great team. I love the Joker. They're a great team. I really love watching them play. I love their execution. I love Joel Ingles, and Joel Ingles is the backup shooter now. Derek Favors is great. Like, that team is. They're an interesting, fun team. Donovan Mitchell is explosive. So as much as I'm making fun of the Utah Jazz, we do have them in Prime Cuts. So here on Run It Back, we show love to the Jazz.
All right, we're going to keep talking about who may be championship contenders. But first, we're moving now to our Dunk of the Week. You ready?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm ready with Dunk of the Week. Let's bring it on.
Here it is.
This Dunk of the Week is a nod to Linder Koda of Angel Diva Music, who is a cat enthusiast. So this is Karl Anthony Town as the cat, being the cat, representing cat life. Cat lives matter. Man, I'm about to dunk on this fool. I'm gonna give that an 8. Oh my God. That was a nasty dunk.
No, that was like nuclear. And you know who it reminded me of? I don't know why, but it reminded me of Rasheed Wallace.
Yes. That's a good call.
It was like just this massive hook where he was just like, ah.
Yeah.
And he comes from the top of the key too, so you don't expect it from that big man. That was just.
You know what he did to him? He litter boxed him.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're playing cat ball.
Yeah.
Jan, that's for you.
Yeah, that was all for you. Dunk of the week for Jan.
All right.
Karl Anthony Towns. Yes.
Incredible. It had to be Cat. But
yes.
He happened to deliver. It just happened.
Yes.
Now we're moving on to Say What?
Oh, man, this is my favorite.
You take it.
Yes. Well, we've talked about him a little bit, so this is where he really lives. I'm talking, of course, about my man, LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball has resurfaced, everyone. You can't keep LeVar Ball down, especially when LaMelo's playing good. So this dude is a soundbite waiting to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I'm surprised I'm surprised he was muffled, okay? That's how loud he is.
I'm surprised that this segment isn't called LeVar Ball. Say what?
Yeah, it actually should be. It should be a still picture of LeVar Ball yelling something crazy, and then we just talk about the latest crazy thing that he said. Yeah. Let's just start with this. All right, LaMelo's balling. He's playing great. But LeVar, when asked, does he ever take advice from Michael Jordan, he said, hell no. Do you drink milk after it's spoiled? So now the greatest player of all time, the GOAT, is spoiled milk.
That's like the biggest NBA party foul of all time.
Yes.
I take personal offense to that.
Yes.
I mean,
break it down. This is your time to...
All right, listen. Jordan, I don't care what you say about him, like as an owner or what he's done or what he did with the Wizards or anything.
Yes.
Jordan, he brought so much joy and even wisdom to people. You watched him play and you were like, I see that it's his mindset that is killing everybody.
Yes.
So to have a guy like LeVar Ball call Michael Jordan into question. Do you remember the scene in The Last Dance? Michael Jordan's watching footage of Gary Payton talk about how he had a chance.
Yes.
And Jordan's like, ah!
And let me say this, dude. I'm friends with Gary Payton. I love Gary Payton. He's one of my favorite people. But that scene is hysterical because it's like, oh, really? He thought he was going to make a difference against me? Like the disgust on Jordan's face is classic. It's classic.
Jordan he had a way of believing in himself. And honestly, it taught me to believe in myself at a certain way. You know, I know it sounds ridiculous.
I love that, dude.
It might sound ridiculous, but like, remember, I was a teenager. And I'm watching that commercial. If I could be like Mike, the Gatorade commercial.
Yeah.
That's the best commercial of all time.
He is me. Sure, I know.
And I watched that, and I knew I wasn't going to be like that in basketball.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, I could be that way as a psychologist.
Yes.
Or as a sports show. And look, I went out for an audition for Run It Back.
Exactly. Against
because
some
I believed
very
in myself.
talented people. And,
very.
And yes. And you got the gig.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, Andre sounded like he was demented. I was like, what's happening with that guy?
He's very confident. He's extremely confident. LeVar is. I mean, we could do a whole hour on LeVar Ball. But yeah, I think he's he's about as say what gets.
I mean, can you imagine? Like, also the balls on LeVar Ball to say
Yes.
that. Imagine if he ends up in a room with Michael Jordan after saying that. Like,
Well, this is the same guy that said he could beat Michael Jordan one-on-one. All right, and so already that tells you, you know how they say don't look crazy in the eyes.
oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But Jordan's
Yeah.
gonna find a
But
way.
don't give crazy a mic either.
Jordan's gonna find a way to punish him because he punishes
Yes.
people who didn't even do anything.
Yes, exactly. Jordan has a way of holding grudges.
He does, and doing something about it.
Yes, exactly.
All right, now we saw your jersey. Now I want to turn to the sneaker vault.
You know, this is the fun thing about this show is I've been a long-term sneaker collector, and I've been going through my sneakers, and every few years I do a purge where I just get rid of some, I keep the ones that I really like, and so this is where I just share some heat from my collection. And this pair, I'm going to show you, I have the box, the OG box, okay? So this is like a reveal. This is a pair of Air Force One Spiridons. These are incredible. Nike Spiridons were a running shoe that was really popular. This lightweight running shoe that came out around one of the Olympics, right? So it was like the premium technology. They were lightweight. They had these little bubbles. They were great. I was like, when you put on a pair, their retail was $160, right? When you put on a pair of these shoes, you felt like you could run faster. You know what I mean? With no training whatsoever. They were incredible. So Air Force Ones are super popular right now. They are one of the hottest just basic performance shoes. You mentioned Rasheed Wallace.
That's right.
Rasheed Wallace played in only Air Force Ones. How he was able to dominate in Air Force Ones, I still have no idea. These are my occasional shoes that I wear. And I won't, if I'm doing like some real stuff like hiking, you don't hike in Air Force Ones. I'm sorry.
No.
But what makes these shoes so cool is they took that running shoe and they said, let's do it as an Air Force One and do it in that classic colorway.
It's
So,
awesome. And listen,
yeah.
if those shoes can make me faster,
Yes.
then we know they're onto
Yes.
something.
Yes. This is a great shoe. This is one of those shoes that, you know, as I was going through my collection, I was like, do I let these go? Air Force Ones are popular. Someone's going to be hyped to get them. And then I just got greedy and said, no way.
No,
They're staying
these are
with
for me.
Yeah,
These are for me.
So Air Force One Premium Low in the Nike Spiridon running shoe colorway. A dope, dope, dope shoe. And just a little something from my sneaker vault.
Listen, I also wanted to highlight the reason we do Sneaker Vault, aside from the fact that you just have a ton of shoes. And
Exactly.
They're cool shoes.
Exactly.
We were like, what are we going to do with these? But they're really cool shoes. But also, as we talked about at the top of the show, this is a show about the lifestyle of the NBA. We know NBA players are way into these shoes.
Well, you're absolutely correct. Like, as a collector, you know, I got heat in my closet. These NBA players are all about the shoe game. Like, there are some incredible collectors. Kyrie Irving wore a pair of Nike Dunks. The Dunks are really hot. And he got them from one of my friend's sneaker stores, Riff LA, which is great. I've known these guys forever. So they're definitely like connected to the sneaker world. And, you know, that's why we feature some heat from my own closet, because we know what's up.
Beautiful. I love it. I can't wait to see all these different shoes.
I got a lot of shoes. You think I have a lot of jerseys? I really have a lot of shoes.
You got more shoes than jerseys?
Yeah,
Wow.
I do.
How big
Yeah.
is that place of yours? It's just,
Well,
just a shoe warehouse.
It could always be bigger. You know what it looks like? My place looks like a manager at Foot Locker got his heart broke and was like, "Oh, I don't care anymore."
Right. And I bet you if you open one of the doors, this is just the shoe room.
Yes.
And you can't even get in it because it's just a brick wall of shoes.
Yes.
All right, well, we're going to see more of that, but now we're going to turn to who's hot or who's not this week.
Wow, this is there's some heat here. What do you got out the gate? Who's hot?
If you're going to give me this honor, I appreciate it because
Yes.
I remember Carmelo Anthony when he was a freshman at Syracuse. That
Yes.
block at the end of the game to win the title.
Yes.
First time Syracuse won, and he just passed who was my favorite player of all time. Still is.
Really?
Yes. Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. He just passed him for 11th on the NBA's all-time scoring list.
That's super impressive.
Listen.
Props to Carmelo, my man.
Yeah,
Carmelo's that is rarefied air. Hakeem the Dream is no joke. And, there was a time where they were counting Carmelo out. So he is over-delivered.
That's part of the achievement.
Yes.
Is the longevity.
Yes.
It's the mental longevity to be able to say, I may not be who I used to be, but I can still play. And I'm still going to go after it. And that determination, I give a big shout out to Carmelo for that.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm going to pick up the next who's hot. I'm gonna give some props to Caris LeVert. Caris LeVert is back with the Pacers. After that health scare that he had, and then going through that trade with Brooklyn, I mean, that dude he's a baller. And the fact that he's back on the court, big up Caris LeVert.
Yeah, and I mean, he's coming back from some major surgery.
Yes, absolutely.
And it was scary, too.
Yes, life-threatening. It's a good thing that they had that physical during the trade where they discovered this problem and they were able to give him immediate assistance. So anytime an athlete can mentally battle those challenges and get themselves back on the court, we love that.
And from what I can tell, the Pacers organization was really great about that, too. They rallied around him.
Yes.
And he seems to feel at home there. He was just rolling right along.
We've got a lot of people coming back from injury. We talked about this earlier, but C.J. McCollum's coming back. So they get a valuable asset at a good time. And, his game is unbelievable. He's a guy that can call his own number. So it'll be exciting to see what he's able to do now that he's getting back on the court.
Now, here's another hot, we're just throwing out names here, but Anthony Edwards, when he was the number one pick, I was like, listen, that guy is an old white actor, and there's no way he's going to do well.
Really? That's how definitive you were.
Then I found out he was a totally different person than the guy from Top Gun.
Right.
I was like, okay, fine.
You thought he was Goose?
I thought he was Goose, and I was like, Goose can't even make it through Top Gun.
Yes.
But that's why I watch it again. He comes alive every time you watch it again.
Yes.
But I mean, Anthony Edwards, he looks like he is every bit as gifted as they said.
Well, dude, I like his he's got some swag about him. You know what I mean? Like, he is not afraid to go get it. And there have been some games where he was a dynamic competitor where you were like, that dude's got a little something. I mean, earlier this year, he still has what I think is the dunk of the year for sure. But if you watch him play, he's a competitor. And I think he's one of those guys that, while everyone has already kind of handed LaMelo the Rookie of the Year honors, and we are just at the start of the second half of the season, I think he's got something to say about that.
I totally agree. And actually, I wanted to ask you, going into the second half, who's the most surprising team that's hot right now?
Most surprising, I'm gonna have to say the Suns. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because they went through. While I thought they would make the playoffs this year, no problem. I just think that's what Chris Paul brings to your team. They went through a little slump, and they're rattling off wins. I know they took an L recently, but what they're doing right now, I think it's great.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about this a little later, but Chris Paul is somebody we got to talk about because it's his leadership that's getting that done. I shouldn't get too much into that because that's for later. But
yes.
Now I want to ask you about my Cavs. Okay, we've got first they were surprisingly good, then they're god awful, and now they're surprising again. And meanwhile, and this was a comment you made, so I'm going to give you credit for this. But the Clippers are like the elite Cavs.
Yes, they are.
You never know what's happening.
Yes, they are. Yeah, I mean, I just think you've got a powerhouse young star in Colin Sexton. There still seems to be, you can fill in pieces on that team. You know what I mean? Like, they compete sometimes, but they're inconsistent. And I do, in a lot of ways, feel like, the Clippers are a better version of what the Cavs are right now. You know what I mean? They're the upperclassmen of the Cavaliers.
I think that's absolutely right. So we're going to finish up on this. It's the Patrick Ewing MSG story.
This is a good story. This is a who's not and a who's hot. You know what I mean? It actually is the perfect way to finish because there are unhot aspects of this story and very feel-good hot aspects.
That's right. The least hot of anybody is the staff at MSG who they were unable to recognize that this was Patrick Ewing. Like, just figure out who he is.
Come on. When a 7-footer who already knows where to go and you don't have to help him out walks near your building, let that man pass.
Yeah, you should really figure it out.
Yeah, how do you not know who Patrick Ewing is? You know what that means, though? That just means James Dolan needs to tap into the archives, the history of the team that he owns, and celebrate his legends. That just means your legends aren't being celebrated enough. But it's awful, dude. There is no way that you do not let Patrick Ewing in the building. You know what I mean? Even if you think it's John Thompson. You know what I mean? Like, if you see a towering figure that is moving in a way where he knows where he can go and knows how to box you out if you try and stop him, let that man in.
That's right. It's all very clear.
Yes.
He's now coaching Georgetown. We're going to talk about the tournament also, just a little bit.
I mean, that was the feel-good story of this. While those guys, made a grave mistake, they've created a culture that doesn't represent, or respect their legends. I do feel like that team winning the Big East tournament was the universe going, we get it. You know what I mean? Like, we get it.
Yes.
We're sorry you had to deal with that.
All right, we're moving on to the fourth quarter.
Uh-oh.
All right.
It's wrap-up time.
It is.
Let's see what your sense numbers are like.
Okay, exactly. So, we're going to talk about just the top 5 MVP candidates, and is CP3 one of those? The Suns are hot, not just because they play in Phoenix.
Yes.
That's your line. I stole it from
exactly. That's all right. It's okay.
So
you got to love the Phoenix Suns. Their logo is a basketball on fire. You know what I mean? Like,
it is.
Like, what if the Cardinals had that same philosophy? What would their logo be? A bucket of chicken on fire?
It would be I'll tell you what it would be, is a dead cardinal. I mean. All right, so I just want to make...
it would be a hot beak.
I want to make one point about this, and then we'll wrap up here. But, LeBron should be the MVP every year.
Yes,
I'm sorry. I know it's boring.
So you've cut to the chase on this expanded MVP talk. You're just saying, look, let's just give it to LeBron and quit kidding ourselves.
Well, and every year you don't, you're robbing him. I mean, Michael Jordan only won 5 MVPs. He should have won more. I don't care how boring it is. He was the MVP.
Yes. Well, I feel like that one year that Karl Malone won, it was like, okay, Karl, you've got good numbers. You've got your team to the finals, but...
Yeah, but I mean, come on. You're the MVP of teams that will be slayed by Michael Jordan.
Yes. You're the MVP of dudes that drive 18-wheelers. How about that?
All right.
That's a nice award, too.
So, last thing is they're thinking about changing the three-point line, maybe, because of Dame and Steph.
Right.
Should the game be changing that? We'll just say very quickly, just a soundbite. Give us what your take is on that.
Well, they've moved the line back before. Let's not punish the three-pointer. The three-pointer is fantastic right now. Steph Curry has reinvented the game. What Steph and Dame were doing in the All-Star game was literally ridiculous. Okay? We're at a point now where I'm just going to throw this out there. Digest it how you will. The three-pointer, the way these guys are shooting it right now, it's just as devastating as someone dunking on a player.
Sometimes even more. So listen.
Yes, absolutely.
We have brought the thunder today. We have hit the threes.
Yes, this is quite a show. We gave you quite a show today. If you were like, well, what's Run It Back really like? And should I give it a shot? If we haven't convinced you,
Yeah.
come back next week.
Right, exactly.
And we'll do it again.
Well, thanks for having me as your host. I want to say to everybody out there, if you haven't already, click subscribe to our channel. Hit like if you like what you're hearing. Put your comments below, and we would love to talk more basketball with you.
Yes, we want you to call in. We want your comments, your compliments, your whatever. If there's something you want more of on this show, please, by all means, let us know. And we'll see you next time when we run it back.